Hey guys, today I'm making hamburger soup, a big batch for canning. This is usually what I put into it. I have my carrots, my potatoes. I'm using a red potato, a very low starch potato, to put into my soup because if it sits on the shelf, say with a high starch potato, it's going to get very thick and I want my soup to stay soupy. So this is a red potato. I'm going to have some onions, celery, a little bit of garlic, and I've already browned my ground meat, and I really made sure that this was browned. And I've got some tomato juice cans to put in there, and of course my seasoning. This is what you're going to need for your canning. I use paper towel and vinegar to wipe my rims. You can use any kind of clean cloth, a lid lifter, a jar lifter, a ladle, a slotted spoon, something to protect your counter space with, something to burp your jars with, non-metallic, and you're going to need a big hot pot for your lids and your rings. You don't want to boil these, but you want to make sure that they stay very, very hot. I have my jars sterilizing in the oven. You don't have to sterilize your jars when you're pressure canning. You just have to make sure that they're really well washed. You only have to sterilize your jars when you're water bath canning. This is just something that I like to do. With clean hands, you want to start building your soup. This is going to be too much for one pot, so I'm going to put half in this pot and half in another pot. I'm going to put my carrots in, onions, a little bit of garlic. The onions that I used are just regular yellow onions, and some celery. I'm going to split this up the best I can, and I'm going to pour in my tomato juice, a couple of cans of this. So in total, I put 3.5 cans of tomato juice in this one and 3.5 cans in the other one. So this is another half can. So in total, it's going to be 1.5 cans of water in this pot and the same in the other. And I also decided to put in 1 can in each pot of crushed tomatoes. I don't want this to stew for a long time. I just want to bring this temperature up. I want those flavors to release, and I want to season it while it's warm. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper, 1 bay leaf in each pot, and I'm going to add some kosher salt. I love this soup with cilantro, so I'm going to add a bit of that. Just be careful when you're seasoning your soup because the flavors intensify when your soup is on the shelf. Some Italiano. It's just an all-purpose seasoning. It has all kinds of different herbs in there. Add a little bit of garlic plus. This has a lot of different seasonings in it too. This is just a really great spice. We'll see where that gets us. I'm just going to heat this up and let those flavors release. Let's see what this tastes like. If you're going to be testing your soups a lot, and you know you're going to be gifting them away or you're going to be giving some to family and things, I always leave just a cup with a bunch of spoons in it, and I grab a new spoon every time I test the soup, especially with big batches like this because you're constantly testing and you don't want to double dip. I think it needs a little bit more cilantro, but I have to be very careful because, again, seasonings, herbs, they intensify as they sit on the shelf, so you have to kind of keep that in mind. I'm going to put in a little bit more kosher salt. Okay, let's see where that gets us. It's missing something. I don't want to put any more cilantro in, but I think what I'm going to do is get some chili peppers, just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a kick. This has been sitting a little bit, so I'm going to give it a try and see where the flavor's at. Get a spoon. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Everything's still quite crisp in here. You don't really want to cook it. It's going to cook a long time in the pressure canner. Make sure that you take your bay leaf out point, because it's done now, I want to put in my potatoes. I'm going to let these potatoes sit in there for about a minute or two, just to warm up, and then I'm going to take these right off the burner. I have my canner on the stove. It's going to be brought up to a warm temperature. If you have trouble with cloudy jars, just put a little bit of vinegar into the water. You're going to need a funnel. I knew I forgot something in the beginning. This is what I do. I get my hot jar, and I get my funnel, and I get my slotted spoon, and I grab the ingredients from the bottom, and I put about maybe 2-3 spoonfuls. Then I take my other spoon and I just grab the juice on top. That way it's kind of even in each jar when I go to jar them. You want to go all the way to the inch. The inch line is right here, the bottom rim. Then you want to make sure that you debubble. Even though it's soup, you have to debubble. It's very, very important. Get your paper towel and vinegar. Wipe the rim or a clean cloth. Make sure it's nice and dry. Get a hot lid. Center it. And a hot ring. You want this finger firm. So finger firm to me is first resistance and a little tug. And then you want to put that right into your canner and continue on. Do one more. So I fill about half the jar without the juice. I fill the rest with just the juice. All the way to the inch line. Then you want to debubble. Take your paper towel and vinegar. Make sure it's nice and dry. A hot lid. A hot ring. First resistance and a little tug. Blender's on high. I'm going to wait for this to come up to temperature, and when it does, it's going to have a full stream coming up here, and when this nipple comes up, I'm going to time it for 10 minutes. My 10 minutes is up. I'm going to put my 10-pound weight on. Please make sure that you know what altitude you are at, so you know what pound per pressure that you need to be canning it with. I can this for 90 minutes because the ingredient that needs the most amount of time in this is the ground meat, so I have to do the liters for 90 minutes, and it's 75 minutes for the pints. Started popping. I'm going to time this for 90 minutes and turn my heat down so that's a steady pop. Pressure's come down. That button's gone down. It's been about 40 minutes, so I'm just going to take off my weight, and I'm going to leave it for about a minute. I'm going to take the lid off. When you take your lid off, please make sure that you are lifting it up away from you. And I just let it rest just like that for about a minute or two. I took the lid off and I put them on my counter. It takes about 40 minutes or so for it to come down in pressure from the canner before you can take that lid off. When you take the lid off, some people think that those jars inside are, you know, lukewarm. They're okay. They're not much to fuss about. But look how hot it still is. Those are bubbling away. Just absolutely bubbling away. And I'm always harping about safety in the kitchen, kids underfoot, dogs underfoot. You have to be so careful when you're lifting these hot jars, especially if you've got a ways to go. Say you're canning in the kitchen but you're putting them in your dining room table. Please be careful. It's extremely, extremely hot. So I'm going to leave these on my counter for 24 hours. I'm not going to do anything to them. Please don't tighten these bands. That's only for Tatler lids. So leave them on the counter. Don't touch them for 24 hours. It's getting really late, and I will see you guys tomorrow. To wash my jars, all I do is take the ring off. I have a little bit of soap on my cloth. I give it a good scrub. Make sure everything is off. You don't want any bugs or mice attracted. Give it a good rinse and dry them off. All sealed. They turned out beautifully. I got 21 jars out of the batch that I made. I was labeling these, and then I started to think about the farmer's market. When you buy these liter jars at the farmer's market, it's the only place we can really get them with no meat in it. They go to about $10. They're 9 something a piece. So I pulled out my receipt of everything that I bought and everything that I had in my pantry and added up what this cost me to make. And it came out to $41.69. Divided by 21, that's $2 a jar. This jar will easily feed 2 people. It will feed 3 people if you serve it with the salad and bread and so forth and so on. So for $2 a jar, that's pretty good. If you're going to use it for 2 people, that's $1 a meal. You can't beat that home-cooked food. So farmer's market, if I would have went to the farmer's market and bought all of this, 21 jars, it would have came to $210. And I paid $41.69, and I'm going to round that out to $42 for everything. So at the show more box, under the show more box, I will put exactly how much ingredients that I used in my pots all together. Example, 5 pounds of carrots, 1 whole celery stalk, that sort of thing. So you can get an idea of how much I used, exactly how much I used to make all of this. This is a great soup. It's super, super hearty. So this is not a light soup. It's very, very filling, and it's so delicious. I hope you guys give this a try. Till next time, hey do. Don't forget to label and date your jars. Super important. Till next time, hey do.